Scott Adams is a very famous and a powerful American author. He is also famous for, actually primarily famous for the comic strip Dilbert. I'm sure most of us are familiar with Dilbert and the kind of humor Dilbert brings, mostly the office humor. Now, Scott Adams wrote a very interesting book called The God Debris. It's an ebook only. I don't think it has a printed version, but the book has a very powerful message. And what the proposition is, Scott here is hypothesizing that if there is a God, he is omniscient, he is omnipresent. God was, is, and will be, and he knows everything. But what is that one thing that this God does not know? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. And I'm sure you're all smart enough to realize what it might be. But what he says is this God probably does not know what will be there if this God is not there. This is one question he has no answer to, he or she has no answer to. Now, to find out, he was curious. So the God had burst himself, and the debris that went out from this boom are called the God debris. Now you can find analogy of this in astrology, physics, wherein we know it as the Big Bang, what have you. But the idea is that when the God had burst himself, the God debris spread across the universe, and everything that we have in this universe, all the planets, all the asteroids, everything is, even the humans, everything that you have, all the atoms are God's debris itself. Now, he also says that the idea of good and bad actually comes out of this. Anything that further disintegrates these God's debris is bad, like war. That's further disintegrating these debris, and anything that is bringing together these debris is good. And that's where I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about in my episode of this podcast. Now, internet is one of those things that brings together all these debris, all the collective knowledge, collective insight, collective wisdom of the world comes together with internet. And Metaverse, the newest avatar of internet, which we are all immersed in, we will all be immersed in, it takes it even further. With Metaverse, we are bringing together this insight, this wisdom, this knowledge with all of these newer technologies and business models in form of technologies. We know Metaverse constitutes augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, crypto, NFTs, artificial intelligence. And on the business side of things, newer and newer models are coming up. You would have your buying and selling happening with crypto in the metaverse. People will be living their lives all together in the new metaverses that we'll have in future. So we are kind of bringing together these God debris with the metaverse. And with this, I also believe that we are living in a very, very interesting time of humanity. All the innovations that have been done in the years past, hundreds and thousands of years, are all kind of bringing things together. It's all fructifying together, wherein we are able to create newer universes, create newer metaverses. And also, why I think is a very interesting time is that in the past you would divide products or companies into technology innovations or business innovations. In metaverses, all of this is happening together. In terms of business innovations, you would have even newer concepts like DAOs coming up. Now, DAO is decentralized autonomous organization. It's a fairly new concept, especially pertaining to metaverse. And what it essentially means is that the way we have companies in this universe, in this world, a company is usually held by a few stakeholders. If it's a private limited company, a couple of stakeholders have all the shares of this company. If it's a public listed company, there can be thousands of millions of stakeholders of the company. However, if it is a DAO, everybody who's involved in that ecosystem, all the customers, etc. Everybody is part of that organization. There is no central authority to it. Now, this may sound a little strange of a concept, even to people who've done businesses earlier, even to people who've formed companies before, but this is a very new business model that is coming up, and Metaverse would be propagating this idea. So business models like DAOs are coming up, and technology innovations like augmented reality, virtual reality, immersion in metaverses is coming up as well, and that's so exciting about all the possibilities with it. Now, that said, in this episode we will focus on what all is going on in the NFT world. In our previous episodes, we had spoken about augmented reality, virtual reality, and how that becomes the fabric of these metaverses. NFT, on the other hand, is bringing in these newer digital currencies, digital virtual currencies for these metaverses, and we want to kind of find out how we can all be participants of that ecosystem. The simplest way, I'm sure all of you are aware what NFTs are. It's a non-fungible token. And quickly, for people who don't understand what non-fungibility means, that it actually means that the token or any asset is unique in itself. You cannot trade this token or this NFT for another NFT. On the other side, you have fungible tokens. For an example, you can trade a Bitcoin for another Bitcoin. And if you give somebody a Bitcoin, take one back, essentially you have the same thing, he has the same thing. That's a fungible token. While a non-fungible token, an NFT, is a digital asset which has a smart token at the back, and you cannot trade it for anything else which will not change the equation. That said, you can participate in a very simple way by creating an NFT. That's the simplest form. You, let's say, create a song, or you create an image and you upload it on NFT marketplace like OpenSea or Rarible, and you sell it to someone else, and that's how you kind of earn from the NFT ecosystem. But that's the simplest aspect. But in this episode, we will also kind of drill down into other aspects and other ways of participating. Another aspect of this could be something what we call as a 10K project. Now, what it is, 10K is 10,000, and there's a concept going around wherein you create 10,000 variations of a base model. So let's say as a base image, you have a Christmas hat, you have snowflakes at the back, and all the Christmas cheer going around, and you create 10,000 variations of this. Now, again, I understand you do not create 10,000 variations of an image all manually. So there are technologies available to do it. At Queplin, we create a lot of 10K projects. Now, once you create those 10K projects, it's time to upload it on an NFT marketplace, wherein you would list those 10K NFTs, and people can buy that. By the way, this is also called as a generative art, because you're now generating all these art forms through a program. You're not doing it manually. So this is called generative art or generative NFT. That's it. So we talked about how you can create a single NFT or various variations of it and sell it on NFT marketplaces. The other thing that you can do after creating so many variations is you can create your own NFT marketplace as well. NFT marketplaces can be of two types. One is a single vendor NFT marketplace. The other is a multi-vendor marketplace. In a multi-vendor marketplace, as you can imagine by the name, that there can be multiple vendors. You create sort of a Amazon for NFTs. Various vendors can come in, they can upload their digital art, convert it into NFT, and they can list those NFTs for people to buy. That's a multi-vendor NFT marketplace. And in terms of examples of these, the very famous ones are OpenSea and Rarible. And these marketplaces are basically sort of a smart contract, wherein you create an NFT, and at that time itself, when you're creating, you get a confirmation that your NFT has been created. Similarly, there can be some other ways you can create NFT marketplaces as well. And these can be very different from how you create NFT marketplaces on smart contracts. These could be simple marketplaces which then further call upon a method to convert your digital art into NFT, but you may not get a confirmation at the very moment when you upload. So various ways you can create different types of NFT marketplaces in multi-vendor form. And both of these ways that I talked about have their own sets of advantages and disadvantages. In a smart contract form like an OpenSea, as I said, the advantage is you get to know that your NFT has been created immediately when you are trying to do the process. But on the flip side, your users can only pay in cryptocurrencies. They will have to attach their wallets like MetaMask and they can pay through that. However, if you create an NFT marketplace not as a smart contract but as a simple marketplace, that can also have fiat currencies been paid by users, and then you convert them into cryptocurrencies. So that's about multi-vendor NFT marketplaces. The other thing could be, let's say you create 10K variations of your NFT and you just want yourself as a single owner, as an individual or as a company, you just want your NFTs to be listed on that marketplace. You create a marketplace, and then this particular would be called as a single vendor marketplace. Now the protocols remain the same both on single vendor as well as multi-vendor marketplaces. The prime protocol that you are using is ERC 721, which allows you to convert your digital art into Ethereum based NFTs. There can be other blockchains as well. You can create your NFT on Solana as well. And in fact, doing this on Solana is much faster and cheaper as well. So you can decide which blockchain you would want to have. But making an NFT marketplace, be it single vendor or multi-vendor, gives you a very big exposure to the whole ecosystem. And as I spoke about OpenSea and Rarible being multi-vendor, we should also talk about a great example of single vendor marketplace. And Garyvee has a great project out there. VFriends is how he calls it, and he's selling NFTs on his own marketplace. It's a single vendor marketplace, and there are various access levels to various NFTs. You get to attend his conference only when you buy this NFT, and various programs that you can go in that conference depending on what kind of NFT you had purchased from his marketplace. So various interesting use cases coming up, and we'll keep you posted on what all is going on. But I really hope this NFT based episode would have helped you understanding how you can participate in the ecosystem. And I really hope that you come back on our podcast listening to the newer and newer stuff that we'll bring for you. Thank you so much. And you can also watch our previous episodes. I think this is where you'll find the link. This will be talking about the fabric of Metaverse. Go and find out what augmented reality and virtual reality is doing for the Metaverse and how this is becoming a constituent element of the whole ecosystem. So yeah, this is where you find it.